There is a potential leak out there for the Avengers 4 trailer. That's right, someone claims to know exactly what this trailer is going to be like, and we are breaking it all down. This is the Nerdy News Rundown. Let's get you filled in. Before we get into this story, I need to shout out Killswitch DJ13, who got the nerd card question correct in my video from yesterday. You definitely know your stuff when it comes to Marvel, Killswitch, so shout out to you. We'll do another nerd card question at the end of this video. Oh, and one more thing. We're doing another fan chat tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are just live streams where I hang out with you guys and talk about nerdy things. Tomorrow, we're breaking down everything we know about Avengers 4. So speaking of Avengers 4, this little ditty of a story came out yesterday and made major waves. Someone anonymously came forward and leaked every single detail about the coming Avengers 4 trailer. And so the big debate here is this true or is this complete and total crap? And as for right now, I mean, it's really hard to tell. The person themselves, when they make this statement, say, hey, look, save this. In a couple of weeks, when you see the trailer, come back and view this and you'll see that I was correct. And I guess that's probably what we're going to have to do. Now, this does remind me of the leaks we got a couple of months ago by the Reddit user A Good Friend. This person had way too much time on their hand, went into this detailed plot leak for Avengers 4. It had weird stuff in it like Nebula and Thanos forming a relationship. She figures out a weird secret to the Soul Stone where you can sacrifice what you love and what you hate. And I'll come back around to this after I share with you what this leak is, but that leak was completely false, and the person came forward and admitted this, and we will just have to see when it comes to this trailer. I'm going into this pretty skeptical, even though this trailer sounds super badass and a lot of effort was made to make it sound reasonable, like it might actually be the case. I really don't know if it's true. I'm taking it with a major grain of salt. Now, before we get into the description, I should technically give a spoiler warning. As I said, I really don't know if this is true or not, but potentially, if it is true, it is spoilers, but it is only spoilers for a trailer that will come out, which, you know, obviously is not a spoiler. That's just promotion for the film. So I don't know. I feel sort of weird about it, but I guess technically maybe soft spoiler warning. So I will now read to you literally verbatim everything that this person says is going to be in the trailer. It's a pretty long trailer as well, which is another reason why I kind of don't believe it. I feel like we would get a teaser, if anything, first before moving into something longer like this. But here we go. Let's just talk about it. It says here, the trailer starts off showing the damaged Infinity Gauntlet in a field on the farm planet. As the camera focuses in on the gauntlet, we hear Tony's voice. We were destined to lose, he says. Epic music score starts. The Quinjet is shown landing in Wakanda wasteland as we hear Steve Rogers say, "We have come so far." Tony and Nebula step off the jet as the remaining Avengers approach. Steve has a look of relief and says, "Tony." And Tony, seemingly defeated, shakes his head and gives a friendly smirk back to Cap. The Marvel Studio logo appears. We get a glimpse of the Battle of New York from 2012 Avengers. Loki is shown looking shocked and baffled as he is on top of the Stark building. There is a flash of blue light as the camera pans back, cuts to black. We next see the Wakandan throne with M'Baku at the helm. He's surrounded by his new Kingsguard, which is a mix of the Hill Tribe and the Dora Milaje. Shuri and Banner are seen working on a new project in the lab. Black Widow, in full gear, is in Hawkeye's family home from Age of Ultron. Basically, everything is thrown all over the place and broken. Nat is studying some type of map with multiple photos and locations on it. A quick shot of Thanos is shown with a long sword walking down an alleyway in New York City. The next shot is a dark hooded figure with glowing eyes aiming a bow and an arrow before shooting towards the camera. Then we get one or two visuals of the quantum realm, and Scott Lang with no suit is shown running through a park dodging explosions. There's a shot of space where Thor and Valkyrie are aboard a Kree ship, and Thor says, "If the stories are true, you're our universe's last hope, if such a thing even exists anymore." The next shot is an older, determined Tony Stark walking through the new S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. This is the Avengers facility in the upstate New York. He's in full S.H.I.E.L.D. attire and carrying an orange briefcase. Then there's a shot of Banner, who's wearing spandex, as he runs from something looking terrified. The next shot is Ant-Man appearing out of a flash of light and landing in a desolate place. We see it from his point of view from inside his helmet, and he looks left to right and to his left again and says, "What in the blank?" The camera then focuses on Vormir Next, a shot of Rocket and Nebula modifying some new weapons in the lab. Rocket says, when can we try this bad boy out? They both smile at each other and fist bump. We get our first glimpse of Iron Man in his red and gold nanotech armor. Hulk falls from the sky and lands in front of him. Then you see a shot of Thanos in full armor as he smiles. Hulk smiles back. The next shot is in Japan. War Machine, Nat, and Steve in their full Avengers gear are surrounded by the Accuser. Hawkeye walks through everybody from behind them and approaches the Avengers. There's an intense exchange of looks between Clint and Natasha, and the next shot is in the Sanctum, with Wong communicating with Doctor Strange's soul via portal. Cuts to black. There's then a gray-haired Tony Stark and Ant-Man in the post-apocalyptic New York City. The scene flashes before multiple times and scenes. We see Captain Marvel floating with her fists on fire, eyes lit up, Thanos with the Soul Stone talking to young Gamora. There's Loki and Thor fighting off the Chitauri together, and Tony handing Steve a brand new shield in the Wakandan throne room. There's cuts to Tony and Scott. Tony opens his orange briefcase, and Scott hands him an illuminated bracelet. Tony asks, how is this even possible? Iron Man and Ant-Man are shown traveling through the quantum realm. Tony and Scott are back in the Battle of New York from 2012. The final shots of the film, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is where it's interesting. The final shot of the trailer is a stone disappearing from Thanos' damaged gauntlet. He abruptly gets up and puts his armor back on. His face goes from extremely infuriating to a menacing smile. Then there's like a stinger, which is something that happens after the trailer, like after they roll the title. There's a scene of Hulk training in the new S.H.I.E.L.D. facility with Black Widow and Steve. Steve notices that Hulk has been training nonstop as of late, and he asks why. Hulk responds with Banner's normal voice, my rematch is coming real soon. I can feel it. All right, so let's talk about this. So a lot of that sounds pretty awesome, but it also sounds kind of like a logical extension of like where we think Avengers 4 is going, some of the way they're probably going to tie up these storylines in general. I think we're all pretty damn sure that the quantum realm is going to be a big part of this, that the Avengers are going to be traveling through the quantum realm. We've seen the set photos with Ant-Man and Tony and the bracelets that they use where they're kind of going back and forth through time. Cap is apparently a part of that as well. There's a lot here that seemingly could happen. If this is the exact trailer, I mean, it sounds dope as hell if this is the exact way that they're going to go with it. But there's one thing in particular that really makes me not believe that this is true. And this all has to do with the end of the trailer. There's one of two things happening with the Infinity Gems. And this is all based on the leak that we got kind of right after Infinity War came out. The very first leak, the reason that people always come back and point to this leak, and this is something I'll talk about in the fan chat tomorrow morning, is because this person also leaked stuff for Infinity War, and they got a lot of stuff right. This includes Gamora needing to be sacrificed for the Soul Stone. This includes Red Skull being in the movie. So this person got some stuff right that nobody really saw coming. And so this person's probably attached to production. They probably have a way of viewing things in early stages of production, and then they draw conclusions based upon that. So the thing about that first leak is that we will be getting multiple sets of the gems. This is something that was in the leak. It's basically this idea that through the quantum realm technologies or whatever, the Avengers will formulate their own gauntlet, that they will somehow be able to break reality and have a gauntlet at the same time that Thanos has a gauntlet. Now, in this trailer leak, what this person describes is at the end, when they get one of the gems, it disappears from Thanos' gauntlet. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I can see the story going this way. Like, it kind of makes more sense to me if the gauntlet, if the stones get removed. Because the whole idea here is you need to weaken Thanos. Thanos is an omnipotent god at this point with all the stones. How could they ever beat him, right? Well, if they figure out a way to remove some of his gems and get some of their own, then yeah, that would be a good way. There were also leaked images that were both at a Russian conference last year and with some toys that recently got leaked around the time where we saw the first look at Iron Man's new, like kind of looking like Mark III armor. That's apparently the Mark 85. And in those toys, you see the sword. You see Thanos' sword, and he's in the armor, right? And so a lot of people are like, okay, well, that kind of hints at this reality that maybe Thanos will need to put the armor back on because the gauntlet, they'll take some of the gems. But here's my problem with this. Good a good friend, the Reddit user that made that other leak that was proven to be fake, that he came out and was like, yeah, this is all fake. That guy said that the gems were disappearing from Thanos' gauntlet as well. And I can't decide in my head, like, is the original leak correct with multiple copies of the gems? Because I think that that's the way they're going to go, which would be crazy. Or are they indeed taking the gems from Thanos, and that's why he gets the sword, and that's why he gets the armor? It's possible, but I tend to believe just because A Good Neighbor was completely wrong and the other leak really hasn't been disproven, that this trailer leak is probably not true. But it's possible, right? It's kind of a crazy situation, right? So that's kind of the news, guys. It's up to you to decide. Like, do you think that there's some truth in here? Is this person just kind of making logical conclusions based upon the evidence we already have? Are we getting multiple sets of the stones? Or is Thanos is he going to lose his stones and then have the sword? So this is some stuff that, once again, we will go over all of this in the fan chat tomorrow at 11 a.m. Feel free to stop by, bring some questions. The Q&A and the fan chats are really cool. It's really casual. I'm just going to literally talk with you guys in the chat. It's super casual, so stop by for that. But also, let me know what you think about this news and the validity of this leak in the comment section below on this video. All right, let's check that nerd card really quickly before we get out of here. I want to know, the character of Hela in the comic books, who is her father? Now, of course, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they made her father Odin. It was this really cool twist. I like that version, but that's not who her father is in the comic books. Who is Hela's father in Marvel Comics? Answer that question in the comment section below. And that's going to do it for the Friday show. Congratulations to you. You made it through another work week. Hope the content over here helped you out, entertained you a little bit. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video. And then if you stay to the end, you get another one of these. The sultry looks, the deep romantic voice. I don't know why I do that.